Hey guys, my name is Erica and today I'm going to be doing the Hamilton book tag. I even have my Hamilton shirt on today, if you can see. So Hamilton came out on Disney Plus a couple weeks ago and I loved watching it. I have seen it live, but honestly, I feel like watching it on Disney Plus with the original cast just like beat everything because it was so good and I just love it so much. It means so much to me. I also just finished Leslie Odom Jr.'s book where he talks about him being in the show. So I just felt really inspired and I was kind of in a Hamilton mood, so I decided to look up some Hamilton book tags and I found this one. This tag was originally created by Maureen Keavy, so I will leave a link to her video down below. And let's just get right into it. First one is The Room Where It Happens. A book world you would put yourself into. This one is kind of hard for me. I would say either the Grishaverse or Middle Earth. I love the Grishaverse, which is of course the Grisha trilogy, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and Six of Crows. I just really like that world. I like the fantasy of it, and I just really like the magic system in there. But also, I love Middle Earth. I love Lord of the Rings. I would just love to live in that world and just hang out with those characters, visit Hobbiton, see Rivendell. I really love fantasy worlds, and I think Middle Earth would be so much fun to live in, so either one of those for sure. Number 2, the Schuyler sisters. Work, work, Angelica. Work, work, Eliza and Peggy. The Schuyler sisters, Angelica, Peggy, Eliza. Work. Daddy said to be home by sundown. Daddy doesn't need to know. Daddy said not to go downtown. Like I said, you're free to go. An underrated female character. For this one, I have to go with Beth from Little Women. I mean, we always hear about Amy and Jo. I feel like Beth doesn't get appreciated enough in the book. I don't know why I just randomly thought of that when I was looking at this tag, but Beth's journey is just so emotional and she's so sweet and caring. She's the only one who really cares to go help out the little neighbor kids who are sick. Then of course she gets sick and we all know how that ends, and she just cares so much for her family and she doesn't care about material things. She just wants everyone to be happy with one another and enjoy the time they have together, of course, because life is short. But I just think she's such a beautiful character. I think she's really well written and she just has such a beautiful emotional journey in the story, and I just love her so much. I mean, I got to play her in my musical and she's always meant the world to me, and I feel like she's really underappreciated. So number 3, My Shot. A character that goes after what they want and doesn't let anything stop them. For this one, I'm going to go with Mia Corvier from the Nevernight series. Mia is seeking revenge and she will do whatever it takes to get that. She goes through so much in those 3 books. Her storyline is just incredible to me. Like, we go from the first book, becoming an assassin, to the second book where she does like this like gladiator stuff, and like the third book was just like a wild ride. She does whatever she can to protect the people she loves and also to protect herself. She's very feisty, very driven, and I just appreciate her character so much, and I feel like she grows throughout the trilogy. She does a lot for other people, even though it seems like she might be selfish, but I feel like she's like anything but selfish. Number 4, You'll Be Back, the sassiest villain. For this one, I'm gonna go with the Darkling from the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I really love the Darkling. He gets on my nerves, but he's also pretty funny. I don't know if he's quite like as sassy as other villains, but I feel like he's very elegant and he just has a lot of nice materialistic things, and I feel like he has a pretty good sense of humor at times, but also he's obviously very dark and has a very dark sense of humor. So I don't know, I just really like the Darkling, and because of the way he's written, it's hard to not like his character, so I just feel like he was a good pick for this one. Number 5, Nonstop. A series that you marathoned. For this one, I have to choose the Pendragon series by DJ McHale. This series, like, I was so late to the game on it, and by the time I finally picked up the first book, almost every book was out in the series. I think there were 9 books out by that time. So I just literally read all those books so quickly, and I remember I was in like 7th grade and we had to read a bunch of books to get graded and like write little summaries on them about what we read, and I finished so many of those books that she had to like take points off my effort grade because I had so many extra credit points from reading that series. So that series meant a lot to me. By the time I finished the 9th book, the 10th one was about to come out, so I just was able to read all those books at one time, and it was amazing. I remember being so excited by that series. Oh, so good. Number 6, Satisfied. Favorite book with multiple point of views. Okay, first of all, let's talk about Satisfied in the film. I mean, seeing it live on stage was absolutely breathtaking, but even seeing it in the movie, like the rewind part and like the way everyone moved, it was just so good. Okay, anyway, back to the question. I read a lot of books with multiple POVs, but I think my current favorite is The Prayer of the Orange Tree, of course, even though there's only like, what, 3 or 4 POVs. I just really love all those characters and their storylines. But of course, I have to say that Six of Crows is by far my most favorite book that has multiple point of views. I love every single character in that book. I love their storylines, I love their arcs, I love how much they grow and how much they share with one another. It's just the best, and that one, of course, is my favorite book of all time. Number 7, Who lives, who dies, who tells your story? Sorry, that's like one of my favorite parts. A book or series that will be remembered throughout history. For this one, I mean, you have to say Harry Potter's going to be remembered, but I would prefer to say The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings has been around for years, and I feel like generations to come are always going to be appreciating Tolkien's work and those amazing stories and those films. Even though it's not as quite as popular as Harry Potter anymore, but I feel like The Lord of the Rings is going to last even longer. I don't know, I just feel like that world and those characters are just so fleshed out, and it's just such an incredible series, and it means the world to so many people. Number 8. Helpless, look into your eyes and the sky's the limit. I'm helpless, helpless. A relationship you were rooting for from the start. This one I have to say Mia and Ashlyn in the Nevernight series. From the beginning, as soon as Mia met Ashlyn, I was like, I'm shipping them, I'm shipping them. I just wanted them from the beginning, and Trig was not going to get in the way of that, even though we got a whole first book with him. I just knew, I knew I wanted Mia and Ashlyn together, even though Ashlyn did some really horrible things. I just knew I wanted them to be together. So that relationship was one I was definitely rooting for. Of course, I'm always rooting for Kaz and Inej in Six of Crows. I love them so much. And then another recent couple is Sovereign and Eid from The Prayer of the Orange Tree. I mean, these characters, as soon as they meet, as soon as they like are together, you're like, yes, they have to be together forever. Number 9, The 10 Dual Commandments. Favorite fight scene. This one I'm having a hard time choosing. I mean, I feel like any of the fight scenes in the Nevernight series were all really well written, especially in Godsgrave. Godsgrave, there are a ton of fight scenes, and I just feel like they were written so well that I could visualize everything. There's a lot going on with those fight scenes in that book, but I really appreciated the writing of them, and I feel like I got a better eye for it the second time I read it than the first time, because I just feel like there's so much happening and there's so much you have to like pay attention to. But overall, I think Godsgrave has some pretty incredible fight scenes. Number 10, Say No to This. A guilty pleasure read. Okay, for this one I'm going to say that my guilty pleasure read, even though you should never feel guilty for reading a book you enjoy, I'm going to have to say it's Vampire Academy. I love that series so much, but now I feel like that's the series I go to when I just need something fun to read, and I love it. It's like so good, but it's like once you look at the covers of those books, you'll be like, what the heck? Like, they look so cheesy, the covers are so bad, but the books are so great, and I just love them so much. Like, I feel like Vampire Academy to me is like everyone else's Twilight. Vampire Academy means so much to me, and I actually did get to meet Rochelle Mead once, which was so great. Whenever I get to go back and read it, it's just like such a happy time. Number 11, What Comes Next? A series you wish had more books. There are a few series I wish had more books, but I wish Six of Crows had more books, but I know we're getting more books in the Six of Crows universe, so I can't really say that, but that's the one I want more books from. And then also The Prayer of the Orange Tree, which I think I heard a rumor that she might be writing another book in that world, but I'm not entirely sure. I love those characters, and I just want to get further into that world and into those characters. I just miss them so much. Right Hand Man. Favorite bro TP. So that's like bro pairing shipping, I guess. For this one, I'm going to say The Merry Thieves from Chain of Gold. So that's like those set of boys, as well as Anna Lightwood, and I love their friendship so much, and I think that they work really well together, and they're really funny. They have a lot of good times. They care so much for each other, and it's just like such a great friendship, and it's nice to read about a group of friends like that, because I feel like we mostly have like love triangles and those types of relationships. So it's nice that in Chain of Gold we have these genuine friendships, that these people care so much for each other. It's not always romantic, it's like a platonic relationship, which I really enjoy. Also, Will and Jem from The Infernal Devices, of course, I love them. They are such great friends. They literally go through everything together. They both have huge feelings for Tessa. They support each other in everything, and they know that if one ends up with her, it's just meant to be. But I just love their friendship, and I feel like them being part of Ty is just like the best. So I think they have a pretty good romance going on there as well. Number 13, What Did I Miss? A book or series you relate to reading. For this one, I have to actually say the Pendragon series again, because like I said, I did not find that series until 9 books were out, and the 10th one was about to come out, and I marathoned that series, and it took me so long to like find that book. Like, I had the first book for years, and then I finally picked it up, and I was like, I wonder if there are more books. I go to the library, I find every single book. It was such an amazing moment, because I did not realize they had all these books out. So yeah, it was pretty great. I was very late to the game reading that, since 9 books were out at that time. There are a lot of other series that I get kind of late to reading because I don't like the hype. Like, if there's a lot of hype surrounding the series, I tend to avoid it until the hype dies down. Like, I waited for Twilight for a really long time, and I waited for Hunger Games. I didn't read that right away just because there's just so many people talking about it, and I don't want to like conform to those, you know? I like to keep things to myself for a little while. Okay, so these questions are kind of spoilery, so I'm gonna do my best to like make sure I warn you guys before I spoil something. Stay alive. A character you wish was still alive. Okay, all I can say is Kingdom of Ash. Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. There's a very difficult death scene in there that I still get emotional when I think about. That one really broke my heart. I think that was the most I've cried in a book for a pretty long time. I had to close it and I just mourned the loss of these people and it was heart-wrenching. So definitely Kingdom of Ash. If you've read it, you know who I'm talking about. That was probably the hardest death scene I've ever read. Maybe not the hardest, but pretty close. It was so horrible. Burn. The most heartbreaking end to a relationship. This one I'm not really sure about. I mean, we have a very heartbreaking relationship ending in Crooked Kingdom. Like, that was just so uncalled for, I feel like. And then also in Clockwork Princess was very heartbreaking. It wasn't a horrible way to end a relationship, and it obviously all ends up working out kind of, but that was, at the time, it was very heartbreaking to me. The last one, The Reynolds Pamphlet. A book with a twist you didn't see coming. Okay, so, I mean, there are a lot of books I've read, especially like thrillers, have twists. I think Illuminate by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman has a lot of interesting twists that you really don't see coming. It's such a wild ride, and there's always something new coming on the next page, something that you weren't expecting. And then also Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. That book just, I highly recommend, if you haven't read the book or seen the movie, please read the book first. Just, you don't see any of it coming. I mean, at least I didn't. I didn't see a lot of stuff coming that was happening. Like, I thought one thing and then it ended up being something else. Like, it's so good, and I really do like the movie. It's kind of long, so well written and so well done that you just kind of hate everybody. But that's just how it is. But overall, such a good book. I highly recommend it. Okay guys, that is the end of this tag. I love Hamilton so much. I don't even know if I could pick a favorite song. There's just so many great ones. I think my favorite character is probably George Washington or Eliza. Eliza, I love her so much. If you guys haven't watched the movie on Disney Plus yet, I definitely recommend it. There's a moment during It's Quiet Uptown, and it's so nice you get like a close-up on Philippa Sue and Lin-Manuel Miranda, because in that moment, so Eliza grabs Alexander's hand finally, and she's just kind of staring off into the distance, and all of a sudden, like, everyone's singing around her, so it's already like really heartbreaking, and then she just like chokes up, and like, her acting is just incredible, and I love watching it. I need to watch it again. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. It's kind of long, of course, because it's a musical, but it's so worth it. It's so good. Okay, anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to give it a nice little thumbs up. If you want to keep following me on this booktube journey, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ErikaAGobble. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!